It's Thursday, which means we're thinking like entrepreneurs, and today I want to talk about how to validate your business idea. Welcome to Think Like an Entrepreneur Thursday, where we discuss the mindset shift of going from an employee to an entrepreneur. I'm Erin Smith, owner and founder of the Starters Club, and today I want to talk about how to validate your business idea. Now, there are a couple ways that I want to talk about how to do this. So you've got a business idea, you've done some research, you've written out the questions. We have a whole other video of what to do when you first get an idea. Now the question becomes, how do I know there's a market for it? All right, there's several different ways you can do this, and I wouldn't recommend just doing one over the other. I would recommend doing all three. First of all, you should know your client, you should know who this serves, you should know the problem your product or service solves, okay? So a lot of people get bent up on non-disclosures and they get scared to talk about it with anyone because they're terrified somebody's going to take their idea. If you haven't heard this by now, it's pretty much out there everywhere, but ideas are a dime a dozen. The execution is crucial. And I know a lot of investor friends who won't even sign a non-disclosure because what if somebody has the idea somewhere else and it was just by chance versus them telling them, they could still get sued. So it's not about your idea, it's all about the execution of your idea. Now what I would do then is recommend sitting and talking to your ideal client and talking to them about this product or service. Understand the problems that they have. Understand what things that the things that they need to overcome to purchase your product. So maybe it's price, maybe it's time, because these are going to be very important things moving forward. And I want you to be in a position that they're so flippin' excited about your product that it just motivates you to get rolling. If they're just kind of like, if your ideal client's kind of, yeah, I guess this would be nice to have, either you need to work on selling it a little bit more, communicating the value a little bit more, or there might not be the product or service for you. So sit down and really talk with them and understand what's going on in their mind, how you need to market it, and make sure it really is a viable product or service. There's no greater way than talking to your ideal client. Get on the phone, ask them out to coffee, however way you need to communicate with them, make sure you do. It may actually help you in the product development too, sitting down and having those conversations. The second way you can do that is use tools like the Google Keyword tool, jump into Facebook groups, find your ideal client, so not just sit and interview them, but find where they hang out, see what they're actually looking for and seeking, and use that as a way to determine, yep, there really is a market for this, this is what they're looking and this is what they need, versus, I think this is a great idea. So dig deeper and find where they're hanging out and watch them, monitor them, see what's happening. And again, you can always reach out to them and say, hey, can I ask you a couple questions for if they're on Facebook or LinkedIn groups, wherever it is that your client hangs out. Third, if there already is a market for your product, if there is, people already doing it, I would highly encourage you to maybe take some classes or get immersed in that world just a little bit before you jump in. Because it may be that you think it's a good idea, you like it, but when you dive in, it really isn't something that you want to make your life. This is a huge investment, not just time-wise, but this is money-wise, everything-wise. So if you're just doing this because you think it's a good idea, but you're not really passionate about it or you're not quite sure, see if there's classes, see if there's groups, see if there's a way you can immerse yourself into this world just a little bit before you actually jump in with both feet. Feel it out. I think this is really important. I've had several business ideas that I start to get involved just a little bit. Luckily, I haven't paid a dime yet to really for the business or anything, but I get it a little bit more involved and I see it and I'm like, if this were, I enjoy this as a hobby, but if this were my business, this would make me miserable. It would absolutely make me miserable. So be aware of those things. So go out, guys, numero uno. Talk to your potential customers or services. Understand their needs. Understand the objections that they may have when buying from you. And really figure out, are you missing the mark on selling the value of this product or service, or is it just not a viable product and maybe it's not one to move forward with? Understand what they'd pay for it. Understand how much it means to them, where if you think you can charge $100, but they're saying, I'd maybe pay $10 for this, again, figure out the gap is in your business plan and make according adjustments. Maybe it's not a product or service you would want to get into, or maybe you just have to figure out the numbers a little differently. But talk to several people. Don't worry about non-disclosures. If it makes you feel better, go for it. But also know it's about getting to know those people and creating the right product or service for them. Use some tools that are out there. Get into groups. See search engine results. See what people are actually seeking and looking for and what they need. And that's going to give you some proper understanding of moving forward with this or not. And third, immerse yourself as much as you can. I'd really recommend this because sometimes jumping in, once you get in there, you realize it's not where you want to be. And it's harder to back out once you're invested time-wise and money-wise. So use these 3 things. Get out there, figure out if this is the right business, if this product or service is viable, if it's needed and really, really wanted, and get out there and start working at it and determine if you want to move forward with it or not. If you have any questions or comments about moving forward with your business, make sure you post them below. I'd love to hear from you. Always great to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next Thursday. And as always, this is Erin Smith of the Starters Club, where I believe everyone's got it in them to start a business. You just got to get started.